Hi, thank you for joining me for Motivational Monday. Today I want to talk about two concepts. One is throwing darts at a dartboard and making that analogy and comparing it to life. And then I want to bring up the ready, fire, and aim concept that I hear multiple times on multiple podcasts from very successful people. So the first thing I want to bring up is actually from a video I saw on Facebook, and I just briefly watched it, of Will Ferrell giving a kind of a keynote speech or a speech at a graduation for USC, and he talks about his journey in becoming an actor and a comedian and how he was going on this certain path and then actually changed paths to become a comedian, and that he just kept throwing darts at a dartboard until the opportunities kept growing and getting bigger and helping him kind of promote himself to where he is today. And I loved that story, and I feel like it relates so well to what we do in fitness. It's just continuing to keep trying, that not everything's going to work the way we plan and go the way we had wanted it to, but we have to be brave enough to give them a try. So especially in fitness, I feel like that's something we need to learn, and we need to learn from each other as well. I also love the ready, fire, aim concept because it works well with the dartboard. So along with continuing to try new things and do what we can to adapt and grow as a manager and a group fitness instructor, we also need to be brave enough to ready, fire, aim. And just like darts at a dartboard, you may shoot a couple darts and they're going to miss completely. But as you learn and adapt to the game itself and the temperature of the room, or there's a breeze, or there's different elements that you identify that will help you get better at throwing those darts at the dartboard, but you have to throw a dart in order to get anywhere. So in life, I attribute this myself to writing my recent book that I posted on Facebook. I definitely had a thought, a plan. I have chapters, I have organization, I had an outline, I had an editor who looked at the final product and sent it to me, but I could have continued to work on that book forever if I was like such a perfectionist about it. I could have, I'm sure there's something wrong with that book. I'm sure there's probably a spelling error in there or a grammatical mistake, but I'd rather get my content out there and show people what I know and am passionate about than let it sit inside me and just hang out there instead of share it with the world. So I think it's something that can hold us back, is that perfectionism or that thought that we have to give people a perfect product. And along with that, I want us to think about as a professional, how we may have in life been motivated by people who really believed in us, and then we may have had moments where people really didn't believe in us and we were really looking to bring us down. But I find that as a motivator sometimes. Everyone needs positive motivation, but sometimes there's such thing that in my mind I call kind of a negative motivation, that someone has this negative thought or expectation about you and your success, and they're completely incorrect, and it's really fun to prove them wrong. So I like the both. I loved, my parents are amazing parents. They motivated me all my life. They always believed in me. I don't know where I would be without them, so I needed that all my life. But there have been circumstances where there haven't been people who've believed in me and who've thought that I was good at what I do. So two examples I want to give to this video are, the first thing is, before I became a manager, I was a supervisor, and I remember distinctly someone telling me when I was moving into the role of manager that these were their words: "You are definitely not ready for this, but you have to take this on." And a part of me heard that and was kind of disappointed that this person didn't feel like I was ready to take on this new role. And I had definitely proven that I could do the job and do it well. But it was kind of a bummer to hear that. So it motivated me to prove them wrong. And so I've done my best to do that. Another example is, I've gotten, like all of us have, maybe a mean or a disappointing comment card about our classes or our job or what we're doing or how we handle something that may not be true, or someone's just unhappy about the situation that they're in and they write something mean. So a good example as a manager, when someone is either let go or can't teach anymore or moves away, sometimes I have to cover for that class for a little bit, and the participants are still so disappointed that their instructor is gone, and that they couldn't have control over that, that they look at me as the enemy, and I just have to handle that as a manager, and I know that happens to managers a lot. But I have a nice little stack in my office, in my cupboard, that I've held on to, of comment cards from people that weren't very nice and weren't very honest either. So I'm one for critical feedback, and I am happy to take it, but I definitely think that it's worth it to hold on to those things and kind of, again, prove them wrong, or show that you're better than they're displaying you are. So ready, fire, aim. Don't be afraid to get out there and be yourself, and just remembering that there's going to be that negative motivation that you have to make, that negative energy that you have to make motivation. And so keep throwing darts at a dartboard, and there are going to be people who like what you do and people who don't like what you do in anything that you do. It's just whether you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do or not. So that's your motivation today. Keep trying to throw darts at a dartboard, learn from your mistakes, and enjoy the journey.